Shine Life says, I love Florida State, but I have news for all of you. We will never spend the money to get back on top ever again. So he's got to be talking about NIL. So it's a different world today than it was a year ago with NIL.
Yep.
And we can only know what's going on out there in regards to money that's getting thrown around, but we know that it's being thrown around. I would like college football to come to a place where they penalize schools and NIL partners for being in contact with players about NIL deals before they actually sign and enroll at a school. I would like that decision to at least be what it's been throughout the history of college football for the most part. That's what I would like to see. Now, players are still going to know where the NIL deals are, but in terms of there being that official contact with an NIL suitor and a school about NIL, I would like to see that put off until they're actually, again, enrolled and playing at a school, much like they can't contact an agent and have interactions with an agent until they've declared for the NFL draft and they're no longer eligible in college. But what he's talking to, and I know this is a difficult thing to answer, but you've got as good a read on it as anybody else, because we talk about it on here even before NIL when it came down to the Willie Taggart buyout situation and the amount of money that these schools are willing to, put up for a buyout situation, and now for NIL deals coming in. There's this conversation out there that Florida State obviously has a ton of money compared to most, but in keeping up with the elite of college football, that there may not be the level of money there that there is with some other schools.
Yeah, Florida State's going to always kind of almost feel behind, but they're not entirely behind. I mean, they've got money. I do like with Alfred coming in as an athletic director. I think he's the right mindset. If you are pro football and you want to see good things happen, there's already multiple things that Florida State is working on, including renovating a locker room that will be big and helpful for recruiting. They're working on the football-only facility that they're hoping to break ground sooner than later than if they would have had Coburn still as AD. Alfred's really pushing and moving things a lot stronger and faster, not only for football and the other programs that are great, definitely in women's sports. So, if it is NIL related, I mean, Florida State is definitely working on trying to get a website built. I know they're calling it the Rising Spear. Luckily, been able to talk with them a few times here and there and kind of get an update. We're hopeful to have Bob Davis on our podcast soon to be able to discuss it and maybe answer some questions, because I think there's a lot of question marks regarding NIL, and not only that with the Rising Spear of Florida State, but just overall the college football world. It's different, and some states are lagging behind. Florida has a whole lot of problems too that they need to fix and flatten out to make things make sense. And because I think some of these players have agents who I've been able to speak with, and one of the biggest things is really working with Florida State or a program, and then also with the state laws, legislation, and everything. It's tough, and definitely trademarking. I know, like earlier this week, we saw Trayshawn Ward, who launched his clothing line, and one of the biggest question marks. And I got to speak with the representative of him and helping him market that clothing line. He said the problem is really working with Florida State and trying to figure out what it's trademarked, what can I go with, can I have help from their side. Everybody's in kind of a difficult spot. So it's in a tough spot right now. Just Florida overall, not just Florida State, but it's playing a factor on every school in the state of Florida.
Yeah, because there are no rules when it comes to the colleges, the universities, the conferences, the NCAA themselves, but there are state guidelines that deal with that sort of thing. So that's pretty much what they're dealing with based on my understanding of it right now. Now it's up to the NCAA to take some kind of leadership role, I guess. Yeah. They would be the ones, even though they've got less power than they've ever had, but they would still be the ones to take some type of leadership role in regards to trying to figure out. And it's complicated, so I'm not jumping on the NCAA, but somebody needed to get out in front of this, because once you let it ride for this long, and we're pushing a year now, it's tough to pull the reins in and stop things from happening that are already going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.